There are multiple videos of women saying attractive and charming men have approached them. And their response, as a single woman, was to say, "I have a boyfriend," and they sit in their car and lament over their stupid response. Women live for rejecting men. They reject 80% of men on dating apps. This, the rudeness of women, their entitlement to attention, and their attitudes, is the reason why guys don't approach them. You all can barely give a choosing signal to give a man a clear lane to approach. And what do women expect? That the good guys they've rejected throughout their lives are suddenly going to start approaching them now that they're financially doing well and seem like better prospects than Chad and Tyrone. If you women are expecting guys to cold approach you, it's not going to happen. You all women do this because if you give a choosing signal and the guy doesn't want to reciprocate, you feel rejected. Also, newsflash ladies, if a guy doesn't want to approach it, means sometimes that we don't consider you hot enough. It's not that guys are intimidated by women, they just don't want to experience harsh and rude rejections, be seen as an ATM, or be bashed on the media for some inflated egos. Truth is, you can only kick a dog so much before it either bites back or simply runs away from you. The absolute unmitigated arrogance of modern women to think that just because they see a guy who they think is cute, and so he should automatically want to meet them, is so pathetic and disgusting that it borders on comedy. And to make it even worse, they assume that they are so desirable that he should just want them just because they exist. There is zero consideration of whether he is thinking if she is even worth his time or if he has even noticed them. The worst part is that these delusional modern women accuse guys of backing out of dating because guys are intimidated by these so-called independent women. The only thing that I'm intimidated by is the court system, the state, and the government. Americans this foolishness and ridiculousness of deeming it a form of attack and abuse to approach women. So I'm thinking about protecting myself. The biggest key factor that drove men to simply avoid women was the Me Too movement. All it took was one false allegation, and any man can lose everything from his profession and his ability to make a living and potentially start his own business. And once Johnny Depp won against Amber Heard, we knew already that the movement was trash from day one. You can't create catastrophic risks and still expect to take chances. I don't care at all about rejection. If I was in another country where people are more sane, so the rules, laws, and expectations are more honest and rational, I would have no problem approaching them. The problem is that the US is ridiculous. Men have been treated as punchbags by society for decades. Women want to be passive and put all of the risks on men to approach them and for many other things. And they can sit back and analyze and criticize men for their perceived poor decisions, or they disagree with their approach. If they can do it better, go ahead. Guys didn't mind approaching women when they had down-to-earth vibes, but now? Hell no, their arrogance is off the charts. Not only that, dudes have to worry about Me Too and how to read minds. The whole thing ends up being a science project, too much work, and investments with low returns. The few women left that dress classy will be approached instantly, which is why men should be getting married as soon as possible. These classy, traditional women that are left are grabbed before the age of 21. A harsh reality, a lot of my friends have now realized, into their 30s. They wanted to put it off as long as possible, but you aren't going to get a respectable woman who isn't obese in your 30s. Those that do are exceptions to the rule. Today, men have decided just not to indulge in any behavior that allows women to disrespect and invalidate them. Women's behavior towards men has just gone down the drain, and men have realized this. They have chosen their reputation, integrity, and respect over the disrespect and humiliation extended by women towards them. Seriously. I'd be much better off not approaching women because I swear, I've heard stories of women calling the cops over guys approaching them. Obviously, there was nothing wrong with the guys. It was just that they did not fit their profile in the looks and money departments. So, why would I or anyone put myself through something like this? It doesn't make sense. Also, I think a very high percentage of women are just not even worth approaching anymore. I think that's what they want, to be publicly valued by men, so they can show off in their circles, humiliate the guy, and feel validated. Which isn't happening for her, because there aren't any more guys approaching them. Men are now starting to wake up and understand all of this. They don't have time to waste worrying about women who make interacting with them pointless. Women don't appear to be aware of how essentially rigged the game is against guys. They desire what they desire. Men will also no longer engage in accepting the unsupportive behaviors of women. They're done being used for nothing. Men don't approach today because they don't want to be perceived as creepy, be made fun of in the group chat for months, deal with the pain of rejection, or deal with their peace being disrupted by nonsense. It has nothing to do with being intimidated, and it's wild to me women can't at least try to see things from a modern guy's perspective to understand this. We are giving you what you asked for. We are also aware of the true nature of women. It is simply not worth the risk. False allegations are rampant, and we won't risk losing our peace, freedom, and finances over a woman. Women file for divorce at a much higher rate than men, and they almost always monkey branch during the relationship. It's a business deal that's not worth getting into. Remember that you are getting what you want. And it's very clear why women are worried today. It goes deeper than you guys think. It's an innate circumstance that females cannot handle. It's called rejection. Rejection is awful. Being rejected because of our physiology and evolutionary history hurts. When we are rejected, it hurts us because it feels like rejection. On the other end, guys are afraid women will make a scene if they're approached. So, they just completely avoid it. Again, I believe this is the case since so many videos online these days include people discussing how much they detest being approached or how much they dislike guys. I'm just struggling to understand this dislike of approaching women, making small talk, or even just being human. I believe that many individuals have lost sight of the fact that we are designed to interact with one another. And women really need to stop making such a big deal out of it. It's okay if a guy glances at you as you walk into a nightclub wearing your skimpy outfit. It's okay if a guy approached you in the mall just because he thought you were cute and he was single. It's okay if a guy tried to get your number because he was interested in you. And really, it's okay if a guy glances at you as you work out. He isn't being creepy. He's just waiting for when you'd be done with the machine, because you've been hogging it for 45 minutes as you try and film yourself working out. If a majority of guys stopped approaching women, which most already have, there won't be any guys left to actually want to be with women, and that's just going to not end well for women in general. So, the shocking truth is that it's basically women's unwarranted behavior that has led to guys not approaching women. And I think that really needs to change. The good guys are tired of the BS women are up to these days. Recording men in the gym, or in bars, clubs, and parties just for looking at them, and labeling men as creeps for approaching them. Women have just become entitled princesses who can do no wrong, and the average man is looked at as the predator who is thirsty for approaching a woman. I see why dudes are packing and going overseas. I know why half of men now avoid approaching women. This is why men don't even bother approaching them. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.